The anime version of Dimension W is an absolute mess. It's a train wreck of an anime series. A train wreck so beautiful that I think everyone needs to at least see it once. This is a perfect demonstration of how not to do an anime series. This is a series that I had a lot of hype for. It seems like it had a lot of style, it was this high concept action anime series, and it slowly de-evolved into one of the most confusing messes of an anime that I've ever seen. Look, I'm not saying that, like, I'm the frickin' professor. I know everything. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, and I just feel like this series should have been easier to follow, but frankly it wasn't. Nearly every single person I've talked to has basically said, yeah, upon a first viewing of an episode, I have no idea what's going on. By the time I watch a second episode, I know a little bit more, but then I just stop caring. And that was my biggest feeling about Dimension W, is about halfway through the series, once I got to episode 8, I just stopped caring. I didn't really want to see what was going to happen at the very end of the series, because I could already tell that barely anything was going to change. So basically, the whole point of the series is it's about the relationship between Kiyoma Mabuchi and Mira, the robot. And what's really interesting is that you get this big revelation halfway through the series that Mira is actually, like, built from, like, the same model as Kiyoma's dead wife. And immediately that adds another dynamic to their whole relationship, where you think, oh, maybe he's going to fall in love with Mira. Maybe he's going to end up seeing her as another family member. And by the end of the series, she basically ends up being the daughter of Kiyoma Mabuchi. But aside from that, really nothing changes in their relationship whatsoever. At the beginning of the series, Kiyoma feels exactly the same as he does about Mira at the very end of it. He still pretty much just puts up with her and doesn't really care for her all that much. As far as development goes, from Kiyoma and Mira in general, absolutely nothing. Just, really, they didn't change that much from the beginning to the end of the series. Maybe Mira just a little bit more, I'm not so sure. And what I will say is, my favorite character from the series was Loser, who's like this really flamboyant, futuristic Batman who had his own ulterior motives, and he gets killed at the end of the series. He had some cool moments, mind you, but his entire story was a lot easier to follow than Kiyoma's, about him trying to get revenge for his wife and everything. He also had a daughter by the name of Elizabeth who, well, she's orphaned by the end of the series, sucks to be her. And then there's the villain of the series, the really only real villain who appears. His name is Haruka Seemeyer. Probably one of the worst villain designs that I've ever seen. He's one of those characters that, like, when you see him for the first time, your first thought is, who would even trust this snake-looking bastard? I mean, he's totally evil. He has this, like, just constant evil shit-eating grin on his face. His overall colors and everything just paint him as a real bad guy. And yeah, by the end of the series, he is the bad guy. He goes through a lot of weird, nutty transformations, turning into some sort of giant Akira monster mess. It's just ridiculous, and it looks kind of cool at moments, especially when all the characters start teaming up and everything, but still nothing really all that special. And also, that final arc of Dimension W, like, really bothers me, because they introduce, like, all of these really crazy characters, all of these repo men, guys just like Kiyoma Mabuchi, and they don't, like, do anything with them. They just sort of are, like, toss-away characters. They're an excuse to come to this island, which is basically, like, the focal point of the entire series, the Easter Island event, which is just as convoluted, especially when they try to connect it to the death of Kiyoma's wife, and how that's all just, it's ridiculous, and it's hard to follow, and frankly, it's just not that exciting. And that gets me to my biggest point about the series, which is the production value just sucks. It's awful. You know, I will say this, Dimension W has a great opening sequence. It's got a really great song, the imagery is really intense, very fast, and you just can't help but fall in love with Kiyoma doing his goofy dancing and driving around in his kick-ass car. It's a great intro! It gets you really pumped up for this anime series, and then you watch the episode, and it's just really nothing all that special. This is a series that had some damn good potential, and obviously I think a lot of people saw the potential in the show. I mean, it's on Toonami right now. It's already halfway through its run, which is a pretty big accomplishment for an anime series to be that close to the actual release of the Japanese version. It's a big deal. Not since Space Dandy, I think, have I seen anything like this, and I think that's pretty freaking awesome. It's a great step for anime, making an even bigger splash in the West, which I think is always really important, but I think they cherry-picked the wrong anime. I think that Dimension W, on its aesthetics alone, I think we're going to appeal to a Western audience. I mean, I've said in the past that it reminds me of shows like Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star and all those other sci-fi concept shows that they had from Adult Swim and from Toonami back in the early 2000s. So it really fits the bill right there. It even sort of has some of the aesthetics of Eureka 7, that one mecha anime series. Just the style and the color of some of the characters, in particular Mira. She looks like a character who was picked right from that series, at least to me anyway. And really, Mira is the only character that I really liked at the end of the day. I thought she was probably the most interesting. I wanted to learn more about her, why she's such a realistic android-type character, and at the end of the series, you know, they just don't do much with her, and that's the thing. They just don't care anymore by the end. I mean, there are some action scenes that look cool. There is some imagery that's pretty interesting in this series, but at the end of the day, this is a series that just sort of crumbles under its own weight, and I think it's the type of series that only works best as a manga, so this way you can sort of digest it slowly and have a better understanding of the world and how it all works, because I still can't fucking tell you guys, like, how this world works. Like, all the coils and everything. I know that they power things, but they can do basically anything, especially when it results in messing with the space-time continuum. So, this was a convoluted review for a convoluted anime series, which frankly I just don't like, and I can only recommend if you were just really curious and you just want to watch it once. Otherwise, this is an anime that I think you can skip, and I would probably recommend checking out the manga version, if anything. I mean, just like I said, you can digest it a little slower. So, I did not like the series at all. If I were to give like the whole series a score out of 5, I would give it a 2. I liked some of the designs of the characters, and I liked some of the action scenes, but as far as like the characters themselves, they're just very one note, and it's just really fucking confusing. Simple as that. So, check out Dimension W or don't. It's really up to you guys. But if any of you did watch Dimension W and you did enjoy the series, tell me why in the comment section below and try to be civil about it. I'm not trying to be a jerk here. I'm just expressing my opinion about the show, and I want to hear from you guys. Did you get enjoyment from the series? What did you like about it? Did you not like Dimension W? Please tell me why in the comments section below. I'd really appreciate it. Did I ever tell you guys that you are awesome? Thank you for watching this review. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be able to see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. You guys can also check us out on Facebook and Twitter and all that social media bullcrap. It's all in the description box below. So thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.